Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
Shut up and get in.
All right, everybody, hello and welcome on this lovely Friday evening. I am the Shy Hat, and this is HackerFrogs. All right, so everybody, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering two things today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the Try Hack Me room, Brute It, and this is a room that covers a lot of brute force attacks. And we're going to get used to using some different pieces of software to perform brute force attacks on login pages and passwords and some passwords and hashes for certain secure files and the like. All right, and afterwards we're going to be doing a little bit of development work for our game that we're trying to design, which has to do with teaching cybersecurity skills to the players. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover this Try Hack Me room right here, which is called Brute It. And so let's start. All right, so to anybody who wants to join in along with us, I will provide the link to this particular Try Hack Me room in the chat, and you can join in with us if you so desire. All right, so first thing we want to do when we start up a Try Hack Me room is we want to start up our attack box, which we can do just over here. So this is going to start our attack box machine that we're going to use to interact with the vulnerable machine in this room. The second thing we need to do is we need to start up that vulnerable machine. And you can do that by clicking on the green Start Machine button under Task 1. All right, so that's going to take a few minutes to initialize. It should take about a minute and a half, it looks like. In the meantime, let's talk about what's happening over at HackerFrogs. So we have our HackerFrogs subreddit, as some of you may know, and it's over at reddit.com/HackerFrogs. I'll provide the link to that. And on the page, we've been recently doing HackerFrog sessions for youth students these days. And each time we do one of these sessions, we're going to be taking some notes and making notes about which exercises they're going to be running through in each one of these classes. So this is going to be taking up quite a bit of room in the space as far as the subreddit is concerned. But I think I'll be deleting these links maybe a few weeks after they've been published. All right, and we also have our streaming schedule over here, and the streaming schedule is going to be updated weekly, and it's going to include all the topics we're going to be covering in our streams. So for example here, we've got Monday, and we did our HackerFrogs After School Web App Basics lesson on that day. And then well, unfortunately on that day, my voice was feeling a bit bad, so I couldn't do the secondary topic. But today, what we're doing is HackerFrogs free hacking, try hack me, brute it. This is the machine we're doing now. And then the secondary topic is going to be hack development, hacking development. So developing with hacking tools, or under the topic of hacking, I guess. And we're going to be talking about designing game stats a little bit later. So let's go back to our Try Hack Me webpage. And it looks like our terminal has initialized. So we just need to click into it and press enter to dismiss this message. And then what we need to do is put this in its own browser tab. So we can do that by clicking on this button right here, labeled View in Full Screen. And that's going to put the attacking attack box virtual machine in its own browser tab, which is what we want. And then we can go over to the Try Hack Me page, and we can close out this portion of the web page. Click on this button right here, labeled Exit Split View. And now we have one whole browser tab for the Try Hack Me page, and we have one whole browser tab for the attack box, which is what we want. So in preparation for running some scans, I'm going to open up a terminal window. You can do that by clicking on this shortcut right here. And I'm going to make the text nice and big so that we can better see it on the screen. Okay, that's about good enough. All right, so let's go. I think I'm going to need a couple of these. And I'm not sure if we can create new tabs inside of, oh, okay, looks like we can. All right, but I need to increase the size of this tab as well. Okay. So we've got two tabs that should be good enough to do this box. Let's go back to the web page, and we're going to grab our IP address. So target IP address over here. Let's copy this. And then let's start our scans. So inside of our terminal here, we're going to do an nmap scan. So that's going to be nmap and then -p- for all ports. And then we're going to specify T4 for 4 threads. That makes it very fast. And then we're going to do -VV for very verbose output. The last thing we need to do is paste in the IP address, which is Control-Shift-V. And then we can run the scan. Okay, so immediately we find two open ports. We've got port 22 and port 80. So these are the two open services. So I'm going to give a spoiler here and tell everybody that these are the only two ports that are open on the system. So we're going to abort this particular port now that we have found the open ports. Control-C to quit out of that. And then we're going to run the same scan. Only this time, we're going to specify the ports. In this case, it is port 80 and it is port 22. And we're going to add a couple of extra flags extra switches over here. So it's going to be -S capital C and -S capital V. So the first one over here, -S capital C, is going to run common scripts on whatever services we find, and -S capital V is going to show version information about whatever services we scan. So run that. And so this should come back relatively quickly because we're only scanning 2 ports. Okay, so we have information about port 22. This is OpenSSH, this version running on Ubuntu. And the next thing we see is port 80, which is reporting Apache, an Apache server with this particular version, which is also an Ubuntu version. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to record this information because that is in the Try Hack Me questions. So under task 1, let's complete this task, deploy the machine, just click on complete, and that's done. And then let's go over to task 2. So in task 2, search for open ports using Nmap. How many ports are open? It looks like I answered this one already, but the answer is 2, and that is the answer. And what version of SSH is running? So we can take a look at the Nmap scan to find this. So we're looking at port 22. This is OpenSSH 7.6P1. So we can just copy this information over here. Control-Shift-C to copy. And then over on the web page, SSH, it looks like there's a something point, something, something, something. Let me take a look at that output one more time. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, this looks like it checks out. So over here, we're going to paste in the answer, OpenSSH 7.6P1, click on Submit, and that's done. And the next question is, what version of Apache is running? So the version of Apache, just the number, is down here. So we're looking at Apache 2.4.29. Copy that and supply that as the answer. And the last question in this task is, oh, it's not the last question. So this question is, which Linux distribution is running? So if we take a note of what has been appearing in our scans, we see Ubuntu, and we see Ubuntu. So I think it's Ubuntu. So we answer Ubuntu. Are you sick and tired of me saying Ubuntu yet? Click on Submit, and that's done. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to search for hidden directories on the web server. What is the hidden directory? Okay, so now that we know that we have these two services open, it's usually not the best idea to search for vulnerabilities on port 22 unless you're completely out of ideas and you want to do some SSH brute forcing. That's not usually the way to go, but actually I think it might be the way to go on this box because this box is called Brute It. Okay, so the question is asking us to scan the machine for a hidden directory. So one common tool that I like to run on web servers is the Nikto web application vulnerability scanner. So it's going to be Nikto-H, and then it's the IP address. So the IP address that we were looking at is really quick. This one, let me copy this. And then we're going to paste in the IP address. Okay, so the Nikto web application vulnerability scanner is going to scan for a bunch of common vulnerabilities as well as common directories. It's not the most. It usually picks up some low-hanging fruit, so that's why I like it. And so it's going to scan for a bunch of different vulnerabilities. So we're going to scan using Nikto. So it's going to tell us what kind of server it is and what allowed HTTP methods. Okay. And it also found this directory over here, /admin. So as well as /admin, it also found /admin /index.php. So, and it also found this Apache default file. So we can be pretty sure that it's running an Apache server. And this is the directory that we're supposed to be looking for, I'm pretty sure. So we can go over to the questions over here in task 2. And it says, search for hidden directories on the web server. What is the hidden directory? The answer is /admin. And we're going to submit that. Okay. So the next task over here is labeled getting a shell. So it says, find a form to get a shell on SSH. So what we need to do is we need to go over to the web server, and the web server is located right here. Let me copy this IP address one more time. And then we're going to go over to the attack box's Firefox browser. So it's going to take a little bit to open. And then once we're here in the Firefox browser, we can paste in the IP address. We're going to fix it. We're going to prefix it with HTTP. And then we're going to add the admin directory endpoint over here. Okay, so after we do that, we see a login page. So there's a login page here. Just for fun, we're going to look in the HTTP source, and so that's going to be the Control-U keyboard shortcut. And we see here that there is a comment. It says, "Hey John, if you do not remember, the username is admin." So this gives us information about which user we're supposed to be logging in as, and that's going to be the admin user. So as well, we could potentially brute force this login page, but we need to get some information about this. So first of all, what we can do is we can get this information through Burp Suite. And in order to do that, we have to start up Burp Suite. So let's do that. So we're going to minimize this window, and then we're going to start up Burp Suite. And inside of the attack box, this icon right here, Burp Suite Community Edition, is going to do that. So we can click on that. Okay, so to start up Burp Suite, we just need to click on this Next button, and then this Start Burp button over here. All right, so there are a couple of things that we need to do every time we start up Burp Suite. The first thing we need to do is we need to go to the Proxy tab. So there's a Dashboard tab, the Target tab, the Proxy tab, a bunch of different tabs over here. What we need to do is we need to go to the Proxy tab, and we need to make sure that this button right here, this blue button, Intercept is on. We need to switch this to Intercept is off. Because if we don't do that, then it's going to be difficult for us to do web traffic scanning. So we're going to click on the button, and then it's going to read Intercept is off. And this is where we want it. Another thing we need to do, specifically for TryHackMe, the TryHackMe version of the Burp Suite Community Edition, is that we need to go into the settings. So we're going to go into Burp up here, this button, and we're going to click it and click on Settings. Then inside of the settings, there's going to be this tab right here, Burp's Browser. We need to click on that. And then we need to click on this. We need to find this section right here, Browser Running, and click on this checkbox right here that reads Allow Burp's Browser to run without a sandbox. Because if we don't check this, then we're not going to be able to use the Burp Suite browser, which we want to do. So we're going to click on this, and then we're going to exit from the settings by clicking on the Close button. All right. Next, we're going to open Burp's browser. We just need to, so on the Proxy Intercept tab, we're going to click on Open Browser right here. And that's going to open up the Burp Suite browser, which is attached to Burp Suite, and is going to be able to record traffic that we generate by going to different web pages. Okay, so we are here. So I'm just going to put this in the center of the screen. And then I'm going to, I think I still have the IP address. Yeah, okay. So this is my IP address for the vulnerable machine. I'm going to prefix this with HTTP. I'm going to go to the admin endpoint. And then I'm going to record this traffic when I try to log in as admin. So username is going to be admin. And then the password, I'm just going to do test. And I'm going to try to log in. Okay, so it says username or password invalid. So we actually need to keep track of this. when we tried to brute force the web form, okay? So what we need to do is we need to go over to Burp Suite, and we need to go to the HTTP history tab right here. So inside of proxy, there's intercept and there's HTTP history. Click on HTTP history, and then we see the third request over here is a post request to the admin endpoint. We're going to click on that, and we get this information right here. So this is the information we sent in the body of the request to try to log in. We need this information right here to craft our brute force command. So how do we do that? Let me demonstrate. Okay, so we're going to minimize this. We're going to come back to it a little bit later. And inside of our terminal, we're going to give the following command using Hydra. So Hydra is the brute forcing program we're going to be using. So it's going to be Hydra and then -L to specify a username. It's going to be admin. And then we're going to specify a password list. The password list we're going to use is under -user share word lists, and then it's going to be rocku.txt. So rocku.txt is a very common password list, and it contains a few million different passwords. So this is the go-to word list we like to use when we try to do brute forcing on passwords. Okay, so what else do we need to do here? All right, next we need to include the IP address. So the IP address is this one. We just paste it in, and then we need to specify what kind of attack we're doing. It's going to be http-post-form, and then we need to supply the endpoint. So the endpoint is going to be /admin/index.php, and then we're going to supply the body of the request, and we can get that from Burp Suite. So in Burp Suite, the body of the request is user equals admin and pass equals test. So we're going to copy this. Hold on. Highlight it all. And then we're going to copy this. We're going to go back to our terminal. And then we're going to paste this in. But we need to specify what we're going to fuzz. So we're going to use user over here. We're going to provide a couple of carets, and we're going to put user in there. And pass equals test, we're going to replace that with the same couple of carets, and we're going to put pass in there. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is we need to include the error message that happens when we unsuccessfully log in. So that's going to be, we're going to put a colon, and then if you remember, back on our web page, the error message is username or password invalid. So we're going to copy this, and then we're going to go to the terminal. We're going to provide this as the last part of the. Okay, so I guess I started it already. So Hydra is going to scan against the web form, and it's going to look for a valid username or password. Okay, and it successfully found a password. So it found against this host over here, the username is admin, and the password is this right here. All right, so we're going to copy this, and we're going to use it to log into the website. Okay, so over at the Firefox browser, the username is going to be admin, and the password is going to be what we found. And then we're going to click on Login. And then we have a message over here. Hello, John. Finish the development of the site. Here's your RSA private key. And we have a flag as well. Okay, so we're going to copy the flag, and we're going to answer the rest of the questions inside of that task. All right, so we're going to copy this, and then we're going to go to the Try Hack Me page, and it asks us what is the user password of the admin panel. So it's admin and then colon Xavier, just like this, and we're going to click on submit. Okay, we have didn't we get a flag? Yes, we have a web flag over here. We're going to paste in our web flag and submit that. So the next thing we need to do is we need to do a brute force attack on the RSA key. So the instructions, well, the question here says, crack the RSA key you found. What is John's RSA private key passphrase? Let's do that now. Okay, so back on the Attack Box Firefox page over here, there's an RSA private key. We can download it by just clicking on it. And I guess because this is a text file, it's just going to display over here. So what we need to do is we need to copy the entire thing. And then we're going to copy that, and then we're going to go over to our terminal. And inside the terminal, we're going to create this new file. So it's going to be nano ID_RSA. Okay, so inside of nano, we're going to paste everything in. So Control V to paste. Okay, so we're going to save this, Control X, and then press Y, and then press Enter, and this is now saved. Okay, so another thing we need to note about the ID RSA, the RSA key, the SSH key rather, is that we need to change the file permissions on it. So what we need to do to this file right here is we need to set it so that there are no read permissions for other users on the system, and there are no read permissions for anybody in the same group on the system. So that's going to be done with the chmod command, chmod, and we're going to do +X, and then it's going to be ID_RSA. Okay, so this is going to set the correct permissions for the SSH key. So if we try to log in using this as the John user, so we're going to do SSH, and it's going to be John at, let me grab the IP address one more time. Okay, we're going to paste in the IP address, and we're going to try to use the ID_RSA key. So ID_RSA. So this is how we log in with a key using SSH. It's going to be SSH-I, and then the name of the key file, and then the user at the address over here, the URL. Okay, so we run this. It's going to ask us if we want to continue connecting. Type yes. The permissions for ID_RSA are too open. Did I forget? Oh no, I did the wrong chmod for ID_RSA. Okay, sorry. So what we need to do is we need to do chmod 600 on the key. So ID_RSA. This is going to set the correct permissions. I blanked there. We're not supposed to do chmod +X. We're doing chmod 600 to set the correct permissions. Okay, so we do that, and then if we were to try to log in using SSH, using the private key, it's going to ask us to enter a passphrase for the key, but we don't know the passphrase, so we can't log in. So we're just going to Control-C to get out of this. Okay, so in this case, what we want to do is we want to crack the passphrase of the ID_RSA key file, except we need to extract the hash from it, and we can do so by using a certain script. It's called SSH to John, which means we're going to extract the SSH hash using, we're going to use a script to extract the hash from the SSH key file, and we're going to put it into a format that John the Ripper likes to use. So it's going to be Python. Let me clear this so I can work from the top. So it's going to be Python, and then it's going to be in this directory, opt John, and then SSH to John. And then we're going to specify that we're running it on IDRSA, and we're going to redirect the output from that operation into johnkey.hash. So we're going to create a file called johnkey.hash that has the hash from the IDRSA key. Okay, so we run that. User bin python can open file opt John SSH to John. Oh wait, it should be a .py file. So let me do the same thing, but it's SSH to John.py. Okay. So after that's done, we're going to have a file with the hash for this particular key, and that's it right there. All right. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to crack the hash using John the Ripper, and this is the command we're going to use to do it. It's going to be John, and then we have to specify a word list. We're going to use the rocku.txt file again. So it's user word lists, user share word lists, rocku.txt. Okay, and we're going to run it on johnkey.hash. Okay, so John the Ripper was able to get this password right here. The passphrase is rock and roll, rock in roll, and that applies to the IDRSA. Okay, so that's done. So now we can use this passphrase along with the IDRSA key and log into the server using SSH. So it's going to be SSH-I, and then that's ID_RSA John at. Let me just grab the command history for that. This one right here. So it's going to be SSH-I ID_RSA John at this IP address right here. We run that, and then it's going to ask us for the passphrase for IDRSA. It is this right here. I'm going to copy it and paste and press enter. And then we're in. We're in. All right, so let's run a fun little video redeem. And I'm going to do all the things. So redeem all the things. This is from the Nerdcore rap song, All the Things from Dual Core. Whoops. It's got to be all the things with an S.
This one's dedicated to all the hackers.
Okay, so let's answer the questions over at TryHackMe. So over at TryHackMe. So crack the RSA key file you found. What is John's private key passphrase? It is rock in roll. Submit that. And then it's asking, and the last thing we need to do is get the user.txt file. So let's do that. So over here, so we should be in the home directory. And in the home directory, there's user.txt. We're going to cat it out. And then we're going to copy this, and we're going to supply this as an answer over at the TryHackMe page. Copy, and then paste. And that task is done. The next task is privilege escalation. Okay, so find a form to escalate your privileges. What is the root password? Interesting. All right, so let's go over to our shell we have on the server. So the first thing I like to do when I get onto a system is I like to do sudo-l to find out if the user has any special sudo permissions. So in this case, user John may run the following commands on Brute It. It's going to be root, no password required, /bin cat. So this means that we can run the cat file with sudo permissions and with sudo privileges rather. And that means that we can read the root file, the root.txt file right now. So if we know that there's a file called root.txt in the root directory, we can read it immediately because we can run cat as sudo. So this is all fine and good, except that it's asking, the task over here is asking for what is root's password. So what we need to do before we can complete the entire room is we need to find out what root's password is. So fortunately, we can also read the shadow file with cat using sudo privileges. So the shadow file contains all of the user's password hashes. So we can do sudo cat and then /etc/shadow. So the shadow file has all of the, like I said, it has all of the password hashes for all the users. And the task is asking us for the root user's password hash. So we're going to run this and we can scroll up. And this is the root user's password hash right here. So everything up until this colon is the password hash. Everything from this $6. Okay? And $6 indicates a specific type of hash. And I do believe in this case it is SHA-256. But I could be wrong. You know what? I'm going to ask my my know-it-all friend ChatGPT what kind of hash it thinks this is. I'm going to copy all the way up until here, but I'm going to omit this colon, copy this, and then over at ChatGPT, I'm going to ask, what kind of encryption do you think this is? And then I'm going to supply the hash. Oh, it's not SHA-256, it's SHA-512. Okay. So the string you've provided appears to be a hash password using SHA-512 algorithm. This format is commonly found in Linux-based systems where the passwords are stored in /etc/shadow files. So the $6 indicates that the hashing algorithm is SHA-512, and this is a salt, and this is the rest of it. Okay. All right. So let's figure out how to crack this hash using John the Ripper. Okay. So over at, so I'm going to copy this over here. I'm going to copy the username as well, root, just because John the Ripper is going to let us include it, and then it's going to let us know what the user is that is associated with the cracked password after it's cracked. So we're going to copy this. So remember, we want to stop right before this colon right here, because that denotes the end of the field. Okay. So afterwards, we can go to another tab right here, and then we're going to do echo, and then in between here, we're going to paste in the hash, and then we're going to redirect the output into root.hash. Okay. So after we have this file, we can use John the Ripper to brute force this password. And the command for that is going to be John -- wordless. So it's very similar is very similar to what we did with the previous hash. So user share word lists, and we're going to use rocku.txt one more time. And in this case, we're going to do root.hash. Okay, and then we're going to run this. Okay, so this, I can't read this. I don't know if, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all this, and then I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to paste it. Okay, so here, this password seems to be football, and this is for the root user. All right, so let's use this information and become the root user on the web page. So over, not the web page, but over on the server. So over here, we're going to sudo su, and that's going to, what that's going to do is it's going to let us try to become the root user. So it's going to ask us for password for John. Oh, we don't know the password for John. So we're going to exit, and we're going to exit the server. And what we're going to do is we're going to SSH again, but this time we're going to try to log in as the root user. And then it's going to ask for a root password. We know that it's football, so what we can do is just copy this. And then over here, we can paste it in and press enter. Password denied, please try again. Let me try just typing it out. Football. Okay, so it doesn't want to. I'm going to log in as John one more time. And this passphrase was rock in roll. Okay, now we're going to switch users to root. So it's just su root, and it's going to ask for the password. The password is football, and now we're root. All right, so whenever we become root, we have to redeem this one right here.
What are you?
I'm system root.
Okay, so now that we're system root, we can go to the root directory. And we can read the root.txt file. Okay? All right, so let's copy this flag and let's complete the room. So over at the TryHackMe webpage, what is root's password? We found out that root's password was football. Submit that. And then root.txt, the contents are this right here. We're going to submit that. And it says, congratulations, you've completed the room. Share this with your friends. Okay, we could share this with our friends, but we're not going to. All right, so that's it. So we did a lot of brute forcing in this particular room. So the first thing we did was we brute forced the web page right here. So over at the web page, we found this form, and we brute forced the login into here. Secondly, we discovered the RSA private key. After we downloaded that, we found that it had a passphrase. It was passphrase protected. So we extracted the hash from the RSA private key, and we brute forced the passphrase for the private key, and then we logged into the system using the private key with the John user over here. And the last thing we did was we captured the root user's hash over. We captured the root user's hash by reading the shadow file, and we found that the root user had this hash right here. We were able to copy this hash and then put it into a file, and then we were able to crack it using John the Ripper. All right, so that's it. Okay, so I hope everybody had fun. This went by a little faster than usual, but I hope you had fun learning about brute forcing using a few different programs in this box. All right, so we're going to move on to our the next portion of our stream, and that's going to be HackDev. So we're going to be doing some development on our game that we're making. And first of all, let's log out of TryHackMe. So over here, I'm going to close this out, and then I'm going to show split view, and I'm going to terminate the machine with this button right here. Terminate the machine, and then we can stop the virtual machine over here. So just to be polite, we should be terminating all of our virtual machines after we're done with them. Okay, so if anybody in the chat has any suggestions as to what kind of machines you want to see me do in the future, please let me know, and I'll try to research something good to show you guys in the future. All right, so we're doing HackDev now, so I'm gonna start playing some music because this is a little less formal. Where is my music? Will be available after launching your. Hold on, I need to get my music. Oh, this is the wrong tab. Hold on. I need to go to my other tab. Okay. So we've got some music, and I'm going to change up the overlays. So the bottom here is going to be HackDev. And we're working on the cybersecurity game. Cyber game. InfoSec game. That sounds better. Okay, good size, good size. All right, so the top is going to be designing in-game stats. In-game stat design. Okay, so over on our GitHub, that is the Shy Hat over here. We've got our HackDev director right here. So what we're doing right now is we are creating a game using the RenPy engine. So to anybody who doesn't know, RenPy is a Python-based software development, game development platform. And to anybody who wants to take a look at what we're doing for this particular game, you can go to this GitHub right here and take a look. But what we're doing is we're basically creating a little game where we can talk with friends, we can attend classes, we can learn about hacking stuff. And what I need to do is I need to design the in-game stats for this particular game. So let's make a little file. So in here, let's see, I've got my documents, and I've got HackerFrogs Cyber Friends. That's the name of the game. Here I'm going to make a little text document. I'm going to call this in-game stats. Okay, so let's start talking about this. So basically, what we want to do is we want to make sure that that there are a number of different classes that correspond with the different cybersecurity categories that appear in CTF challenges. So we've got stuff like digital forensics. Let's make this text bigger. How do we do this? Zoom. Okay, zoom in. So Control++. Control. Hold on. Can I make this bigger? Control plus. Okay, that's good. So hopefully you can all read this. So we've got digital forensics, and we've got maybe we do binary exploitation. Maybe we do reverse engineering. We do network exploitation, and we do web app exploitation. You know what? One thing I've learned is that YouTube really doesn't like it when we use the word exploitation because it associates this word with other darker subjects. So what we're going to do is every time we use the word exploitation, instead we're going to use the word hacking. Just because it is a less charged word. Sometimes you just have to play the game as far as YouTube rules are concerned. So we've got some classes and some goals that we're working towards: digital forensics, binary hacking, reverse engineering, network hacking, web app hacking, and I think we've got one more. Oh, cryptography. Yes. So if these look familiar, it's because I based these kind of subjects on what we find in the Pico CTF. So anybody who knows me and the HackerFrogs curriculum knows that I really love Pico CTF. Parkmin J says, hi Parkmin J, how are you doing? Nice to see you here on YouTube. All right, so Parkmin J, let's welcome you into the stream by giving you a little redeem. I like to call this Go to Hack.
Mr. Hat, may I please be excused from class?
Well, Kyle.
Yes.
You hear me? You go to
Hack.
You go to
Hack.
You
Have a great day.
All right, I hope you're having a great day, Parkmin J. Doing well. Good to hear. All right, so may I ask, Parkmin J, are you a cybersecurity student, or are you looking to go into cybersecurity from another field, maybe something IT related? Just curious. So, like I said, what we want to do in the game is that we want to teach these courses right here. So there's digital forensics, binary hacking, reverse engineering, network hacking, web app hacking, cryptography. These correspond pretty roughly to all the categories that are inside of Pico CTF, with the exception of general skills. They don't really have a general skills category over here. But I think one thing we're going to include is a Linux OS basics course inside of the game. And Parkmin J says, I'm going to cybersecurity. Parkmin J, have we met before, or do you know me from some other place? I feel like I've heard your name before. Okay, so what we want is to teach these things. So these are going to be some stats that you're going to be able to build up in the game. But what I want to do is I want to have some primary skills, some basic skills that you have to learn in order to learn these other skills right here. So maybe there's going to be a skill called low-level programming. So this would be something like assembly language. So assembly language, and maybe it could be x86, or it could be something like C language. And this is what's what counts as far as low-level programming is concerned. Okay. Parkman J says Parkman J is a common name. Yes, it is a common name. So not a lot of people know this, but I actually taught English in Korea for a time. So I learned a little bit about the Korean language and the Korean culture, and it was a really good time. I taught in Korea for about a couple years in a very small town, and it was in the Chungcheongbuk-do province, which is one of the least popular provinces in Korea because it's completely landlocked. But yeah, nice to see you here. All right, so maybe we have low-level programming, and that's associated with binary hacking and reverse engineering. I'm just going to put it in here. So we have digital forensics. So what skill could be potentially linked to digital forensics? So I guess we could have just a basic problem solving, or a puzzle solving skill. It's hard to say. Okay. So Linux OS basics, this could be linked to a skill that's just called basic computer operations. All right. And let's see, network hacking. I guess what really helps for network hacking is something like computer networking. So a computer networking skill. And web app hacking would have a associated skill, which would be, what could we call this? Internet protocols. So knowledge about internet protocols, and but I guess internet protocols and computer networking are kind of linked, but they're not exactly the same. As far as cryptography is concerned, there is something that applies to cryptography, which doesn't apply to a lot of other subjects inside of cybersecurity, and that is higher level mathematics. Okay. All right. So these are some skills that could be associated with these different subjects right here. As well, we probably want to keep track of a few different physiological stats as well. So there could be something like a health stat. So health and stress. So these are kind of different. Health is, I guess, we can call it, instead of health, we could call this stamina, which is basically how much energy you have. So there's also going to be a stress stat that you need to keep track of, and stress is going to become a big detriment to you if you have too much of it. It's basically going to make it so that you get sick more easily, and you're less able to benefit from doing things like studying, or from any other kind of pursuit where you need to focus a lot. Okay, so that's stress. So we've got stamina, we have stress. What other things that are physiological can we keep track of? I guess we could do fitness. Fitness or health. So it's basically a statistic that that lets you track how well you deal with physical things, I suppose. So I guess exercising could help you increase this, and resting helps you regain your stamina. So you've got your stress over here, and I'm not sure what else would be in this category. But as far as classes are concerned, you've got these ones over here. Let me let's start formatting this in a way that that takes up a little less room. So an interesting thing about binary hacking and reverse engineering is that they require a lot of the same skills. They require you to be able to use to read low-level programming languages. As well, they require you to be able to use debuggers in order to... okay, so... Oh, that's interesting. All right, that's some interesting advice, Parkmin J. You know, what I'm doing right here is I'm just trying to get used to streaming, and I'm trying to increase the watch time on my videos. There are quite a few people who watch my videos who like to watch the live streams, and what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to increase my watch time so I can get my so I can monetize my channel. But thank you very much for your concern. You say that you have a YouTube channel. I'm actually interested in seeing what you're doing on your YouTube channel as well. If you don't mind, I'm going to look you up on YouTube just to see what kind of videos you make. Hmm. Oh, so Mr. Parkman J. Oh, sorry, I'm not. I don't know if you're male or female. If you could leave your YouTube link in the chat, I would love to take a look at your channel. Because, well, I mean, you know, I really want to build a network of good cybersecurity friends online. Okay, okay. All right, nice to meet you. But yeah, so let's see. I'm just fixing the formatting on this over here. So I guess, and I guess based on these different types of stats, we need to develop a list of different actions that you could do as your character as each day progresses, basically. So I guess we could have to try to increase these statistics. We could have like a math class. So what we're assuming is that everybody in the game is that the player in the game is going to school and trying to learn about cybersecurity. So maybe there's a math class. Oh, I see. Okay. You have your link right here. I'm going to visit your YouTube page. Okay. Oh, interesting, interesting. Oh, okay. So the videos that you make don't are all about Korean culture stuff. Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. Do you have another channel where you talk about cybersecurity stuff, or is but I see you have quite a few subscribers, so I guess you could have some something to teach me as far as how to grow my YouTube channel. So thank you very much for your YouTube channel link. All right, so maybe there's a math class, and maybe there's just a general computers class, or maybe there's a web design class. Web design class, and What else could we do? Oh, low level. So there's a low level programming class, as well as, I'm not too sure what class would be you could go to try to develop some digital forensic skills. I guess I need to think about this a little more. But Parkman J, may I ask if you're in school right now? Oh, my country. I'm in Canada. So I'm on the west coast of Canada. Are you currently living in Korea, or are you living in North America right now, or another country? All right, so cryptography, web app hacking, network hacking. I guess what kind of class would you go to learn about computer networking stuff? I guess they teach that in a lot of college courses. Let me try asking ChatGPT. So what kind of classes? What kind of post-secondary? What kind of post-secondary courses would teach students about computer networking basics? Okay, so, oh, really? Okay. Oh, all right, all right. So I'm guessing that you're probably around 23 or 24. My guess is around 23 or 24. Are you still in school? And it's very interesting that that you're living in India, because I don't hear very much about Korean people in India for some reason. All right. So network fundamentals, introduction to computer networks, I guess. And these days, are you taking cybersecurity courses in school, or are you studying something else right now? Do you? Sorry if I'm asking too many questions, but do you also live in a big city? So I know that in India, the biggest cities are places like New Delhi and maybe Bombay or Mumbai. So if you live in like really big cities, it's very possible that you could go to cybersecurity meetups in those big cities. Because if you want to get into cybersecurity, the first thing that I would recommend is that you meet some people in real life. So go to some in-person meetups where you can meet a lot of cybersecurity professionals. So cybersecurity professionals, and so you're gonna be able to meet cybersecurity professionals who work in a lot of different roles. So maybe they work on the blue team. Maybe they're doing stuff like security operations center analysts. Or maybe you could meet some people who are working as security architects or engineers, and you could ask those people about their jobs and start doing some social networking. So an interesting thing about cybersecurity, well, at any real job market or any real industry, is that you're going to get your jobs through knowing somebody more than you're going to get the job by doing the typical interview and job hunting route. So most of the time, you're going to get your first job in cybersecurity by knowing somebody and having somebody introduce you to their company. That's what I've experienced, anyways. And it's actually really fun to hang out with cybersecurity people, because cybersecurity people usually really love partying. Yeah. Okay, so Parkman J says they're studying coding right now at home. I have completed. Okay, great. Yeah, because I'm here to help people get into cybersecurity. That's why I do my That's why I do my HackerFrogs program. If you take a look at my YouTube page, you'll see that I have a lot of different different educational videos. But you say you're studying coding right now at home. May I ask what kind of coding you're studying right now? And what kind of job do you want to get inside of cybersecurity? Do you want to do network penetration testing or web app penetration testing? Do you want to do reverse engineering or something else? It's important to know what kind of job you want to get before you start studying, because all of these different roles don't have the same training. So you have to decide what you want to aim for first. Oh, bug hunting. Are you talking about web app? Are you talking about bug bounty hunting? So some stuff like over at HackerOne. Bug bounty. Are you talking about bug bounty? Like this over here? So let me, I'm going to throw the link in the chat. So this is bug bounty programs. Are you talking about stuff like this? Or are you talking about finding bugs in static binaries? Operating systems and networking. Okay, this could be a cool class to include in the game. Okay, so I guess I could ask this for a bunch of these different topics over here. So maybe web app hacking, okay? So I could ask, and what courses could teach students about how the internet works and protocols like HTTP, HTTPS, and SSL. Okay, so you say finding bugs in apps, but don't know much about this field much. I'm new to this field. Okay, so you're talking about, so you're definitely talking about bug bounty hunting. So stuff like bug bounty programs, platforms like HackerOne. So this is very appealing to people who want to earn some money while not having to go into an office. I actually know some people who make their living by doing bug bounty hunting, and it sounds like a very interesting job. So what you want to do is you definitely want to specialize. One thing you want to do is you want to go over to Portswigger. And you're not necessarily looking at this, but do you know about? So you're definitely talking about web apps, right? So if you're talking about web apps, you definitely want to take a look at the information over at Portswigger, over here. I don't know if you know about this website or not. It's pretty famous for people who are doing web app security. And I previously worked a job in web app security, doing penetration testing, web app pen testing. I did that for a little while before deciding that I wanted to do teaching. So you definitely want to take a look at resources like Portswigger, and you definitely want to teach yourself how to use Burp Suite. Basically, if you want to be a bug bounty hunter, you have to learn how to use Burp Suite. And one thing that you could specialize in is learning how to test APIs. So API security testing. So I think there was a OWASP top. Oh, you know what? There's another website that I could. I think it was called. Oh gosh, what was it called? So I know there was an AWS top 10 vulnerabilities. Top 10 Contra, yes, Contra security. So Contra security over here has a bunch of application security stuff, but they also have. So they've got. So this is actually really good. This one is for AWS, and they have one for API as well. I'm pretty sure. So let me take a look. So Docker CLI. So container security is also very big. So this is their section for OWASP top 10 for API, and I would highly recommend this if you were looking into specializing in this. So the thing about doing bug bounty hunting is that most of the people who do bug bounty hunting are specialized into looking into a specific type of vulnerability. So for example, some people specialize in testing APIs, and some people specialize in doing cloud security. So cloud security is actually like a really big thing right now. So everybody uses cloud services like AWS and Azure, and it's actually very well, at least for me, it's very interesting to learn about cloud pen testing. So the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out which specialty you want to do as far as learning how to do bug bounty is concerned. So there are a couple of platforms. There's HackerOne, and there's also, I think there's one called BugCrowd. Dev Suthar, thank you very much, and welcome, Dev Suthar. Let's give you a redeem. We'll give you a redeem. Let's make it. Is this a hacking?
Is this a hacking?
All right, and nice to see you. Nice to see you. But we were talking with another person in chat, and they were talking about getting into bug bounty, or at least I thought they were talking about getting into bug bounty. So there is HackerOne, and I guess we could look up bug bounty platforms. Okay, there's Integrity, which is this one right here. So I'll just copy these links and put them in chat for anybody who wants to take a look at them. But you know what? I don't want to. Okay, so it's integrity.com over here. So this is integrity.com. There's also Synack. So Synack, and there's also BugCrowd. BugCrowd is another one that I hear a lot of people talking about. So I'm pretty sure it's just bugcrowd.com. BugCrowd. Let's just search this. Okay, bugcrowd.com. Okay, so Parkman J says, this is my bug bounty roadmap. Bug bounty roadmap, okay? Yeah, so if you want to talk about your bug bounty roadmap, please go ahead. I'm happy to talk about this stuff. But we've got BugCrowd. One thing about HackerOne, so let me just go over to the HackerOne page right over here. Is they also have they have a CTF. They have a CTF that is very educational for learning about bug bounty stuff, and I think it was called I think the CTF is called Hacker 101. but let me try searching for that. Hacker1 101. So Hacker 101 CTF over here. Okay, if this is your first CTF, learn about how to play or get started now. Oh, that's another good question. Parkman J, or I guess we could also ask Dev Suthar, if either of you have done a lot of CTF exercises before. Because, well, I mean, I do my education, and I teach a lot of cybersecurity education through CTFs as well. So log in with HackerOne. I think I have a HackerOne login. Let me check. I do. I have a HackerOne login. I'm going to grab my password and I'm going to try to log in. You need to sign in or sign up. Okay. So, I guess it would be this. Am I signing in? Okay. All right, so H101 CTF would like access to your public profile flags. I will authorize. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so this is I haven't done very many of these exercises over here, but I am very interested in CTFs. So if any of you are interested in doing a CTF that helps you learn about web app hacking, and I guess it would eventually lead to bug bounty stuff, this is where you want to go. So CTF, hacker101.com. So let's try some of these. So this trivial one, I've already solved that one. I've solved this one. Let's try this one over here, postbook. Okay, so we'll start this one. So I don't know if I necessarily want to start doing CTFs that require me to use Burp Suite, but I suspect that a lot of these challenges require you to use Burp Suite to finish them because they're well, if they're more than very easy as far as web app challenges are concerned. So we're setting up our VM right now. We have to wait for this. Okay, so it says here, with this amazing tool, you can write and publish your own posts. Okay, so this could be some sort of XSS vulnerability over here. Anyway, so this is these are the type of sites you want to go to if you want to do bug bounty stuff. But as far as your bug bounty roadmap is concerned, Parkman J, I hope I hope you can get some good information out of the links and services that I've been talking about for the past little bit. But let's go back to ChatGPT and let's see. We're talking about courses that could potentially teach about internet stuff, web development fundamentals. Oh, okay. So I guess we could create a web development class inside of our game, right? So that could be a class that we could attend as part of our game. But what else? Where would we learn about the way binaries work on a low level? All right, ChatGPT. What are some computer courses offered at universities at the at universities that could teach students about how binary executables work, how they utilize computer memory space, and other low-level programming concepts. Computer architecture, okay, that could be a class that we could take. So systems programming, computer architecture. I think computer architecture or systems programming could be some courses we could try putting in our game. All right. And the other one was called what again? Operating systems. Okay, cool. All right, but so what are some other? I guess some other things that that students could participate in is they could go to workout. I guess exercise, and this could be the gym, or it could be martial arts classes or something, or something else. Okay, so what are some other things that that people could do? I guess they could do some. I guess just a general rest kind of command, and hang out with friends, socialize with friends, social activities. I guess we could call this socialize. Okay, and I guess some other stats we could include in the game. I guess we could include like a social stat. Conversation. Conversation. Socializing / conversation could be one skill, because it's actually very important to be able to talk to people. As far as Parkman J says, I know you want to earn from YouTube, but your channel is not doing well. So I have an idea. This channel is already dead due to some mistakes, so we could start a new channel together. Well, I don't know if I'm that's interesting. So I have a Reddit. So this is Reddit HackerFrogs over here, and what you could do is contact me on HackerFrogs over here. That's my username over on Reddit is you the shy hat. I guess I can type that in. So you the shy hat. So you could go ahead and contact me over there, and we could talk more about that over there. I'm not sure how we could chat using YouTube. Aside from the fact that I guess I could leave a comment on your videos over at your YouTube page. Do I use Instagram? I use Twitter, so you could also contact me on Twitter, and that is going to be. So this would be x.com. So let's see. So I'm at the Shy Hat. So this is my handle over on Twitter. I guess I could give you, yeah. You can use this link as well. but if you're trying to sell me on how to grow my channel, I would rather try to grow it organically, because I am getting quite a few new subscribers to YouTube, because I do cybersecurity education, and I run classes. So I've been running classes every week for some students, and yeah, I think I've been growing my YouTube channel pretty, not super fast, but it's pretty. I like the amount of growth that I've been experiencing. But thank you very much for the offer, Parkman J. Parkman J says they don't use Reddit and Twitter. But okay. Well, I mean, I'm not sure, because Dev Susar says next Mr. Beast. Well, there's been all sorts of controversy associated with Mr. Beast in the last little bit, so I don't know if we wanna follow him. But yeah. I mean, Mr. Beast is really big, of course. But what was I talking about? But Parkman J, you don't use Twitter or Reddit. You use Telegram. Oh, you know what? I think I am on Telegram. So we might be able to communicate on Telegram. Let me see. Let me grab my Telegram. Let's see if I can grab my user information on Telegram. Let me look. That's interesting. I wonder where I can get my. Oh, you know what, Parkman J, do you use LinkedIn? Because we could talk on LinkedIn if you're interested. Okay, so where were we? So we were talking about yes, Dev Suthar, you're already connected to me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much. So we've got operating systems, computer designs, assembly language programming, reverse engineering. Oh, there's a reverse engineering course. Computer security. I guess actual cybersecurity classes. That's interesting. But what else were we doing? So digital forensics. I'm not sure if there's anything that is more general than digital forensics would be offered over at colleges, aside from just a course called digital forensics. But we could try asking. Such as, oh, so what are the big digital forensic software stuff? I guess we could talk about, autopsy, and what is the big one? Oh, volatility. So I guess the course is just called digital forensics. Incident response and digital forensics. So I guess the class is just called digital forensics. Okay. Socializing in conversation, I guess. Okay, so let me just save this out. All right. So this was interesting, and thank you very much to the chatters, Park Min Jae and Dev Suthar. I'm probably going to be ending my stream pretty soon, but it was fun. It was fun going through my walkthroughs for the TryHack machine, and let me remind you that to everybody who on my YouTube page over here, we have all of our walkthroughs that we do for the different cybersecurity challenges. In particular, we've got our series on Pico CTF challenges that we're still updating over here. And we also have all of our Hack the Box walkthroughs that you can find over here as well. If you missed any of our live streams, we have all of our live streams recorded over here as well. Okay. All right, so everybody, thank you very much for watching today. I'm probably going to get off because I need to get myself some food and some drinks. But thank you very much to everybody who participated today. Let me give you all a redeem. This one will be Hack the Planet.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Shut up and get
Okay, but we're going to be back on Monday, where we're going to be doing our usual HackerFrogs course. On Monday, we're going to be doing SQL Injection Part 2. SQL Injection Part 2, and that's going to include blind SQL injection. I hope I see you all there, and we can learn about this fun web app vulnerability together. But until then, I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we will see you next time.